So you go from the call center, the brief history of time, can you walk us through kind of not just the motivation, but how you navigated to where you are today? Because like you said, you were a first in many respects as you've moved up through the ranks in one of the most senior positions in one of the most successful and largest and thankfully stable, we'll talk about energy in a minute, companies in the entire country. Can you just give us that perspective of that navigation?
Yes, yeah. So it was hard, you all. I'm not going to kid you about that, right? We talked about being first and only and the cost that comes with that too. But I was also learning about corporate culture for the first time. I was also learning about business for the first time. I didn't even know, like the concept of mentoring and sponsorship, that was foreign to us. I don't know about in other cultures how you all if that's a concept that's very familiar or how you approach it, but in Hispanic Latino culture, it's not as common. And so I didn't know how to do those things early in my career. I was blessed in that I had people who offered and then I took them up and then after some time built a good rapport and trust with them so that I could ask them dumb questions in safe spaces. But I'll tell you that the most important thing that reaped the biggest benefit from my career, my 25-year career, because you're right, I have been really blessed. I am the highest ranking Hispanic officer that Georgia Power has, and and I started at a call center answering phone calls and entry level, is building a very authentic, diverse network of people and establishing very meaningful relationships. I would pay attention. One thing my dad used to always tell me is hang around people who are smarter than you. And I would pay attention to the smarter people in the room, and then I would try and develop a relationship to learn from them. And I would just say, hey, you said something or something that I would love to pick your brain a little bit. And can I spend a cup of coffee or can we just hang out and I just ask you some questions? Then I'd love to be a resource to you, wherever that I can. But building those relationships, and I remember early in my career, a lot of my peers were focused on building those relationships with higher level leaders and managing up. If somehow my gut told me I just needed to have great relationships with my peers and to really worry about what that network looked and felt like. And that has paid off dividends. The other thing that paid off was being intentional around making sure that I had not just people who looked like me, like not just all women in my network giving me advice, right? Some of the best mentors that I have today are white men. So I encourage you and I invite you to make sure that as you think about who your personal board of directors are, and even if you don't have the time or someone that you admire doesn't have the time to be a full-on mentor, I really have tried to create what I call mentoring moments over my career where I'll grab somebody and say, hey JP, can I have a mentoring moment with you about this? I'm thinking through or wrestling with something and you might have some experience that could give me some good perspective. And that has just paid dividends like nothing else that I have done in my career because I am now at the point in my career where I'm only one phone call away from solving just about any issue or getting an answer to any question related to the energy industry. And that happens, certainly happens through people.